Okay. Right. Just wait for some people to come in. Hey, TikTok. Alright, so I'm going to do some sewing on this little yawning cat art doll. Try and get it finished. Thank you for liking. Alright, so I'm just sewing up the last two legs and the tail piece. So, not that far off. And then we'll move on to the poopy cat. Alright, so if anyone's new here, I'm an art doll artist. I make fake taxidermy pieces. Got a couple of dolls on the go at the moment. This one is a yawning cat, so I don't use any animal products. I sculpt all my pieces out of polymer clay, including the head, and then I use fake fur, just depending what I make, but generally fake fur. So I've got 6 dolls on the go at the moment. 3 cats, 2 lions. I just finished a leopard seal. And a Gila monster. I'm like 90% done, 80% done. That's good. Just a bit of sewing. It's the most time consuming part. Okay. So I'm using a ladder stitch to stitch all the pieces on. So I start off with like the torso piece, and then do like the extremities, and then the tail, usually the neck piece. I might revisit this neck because it's a little thin, so I might just do a little more here. See how we go. And this one's based off a Siamese. It's going to be like kind of like a Siamese kitten. A blue point. Right. So many people get like confused. They think it's taxidermy. It's not. It's fake. Fake-a-dummy. Cat. Yawning cat. Yeah, we're doing the yawning cat. Yeah. Look at it. This one, Zoomies cat. And then I shouldn't take too long to finish this sewing this bit, so I'll move on to doing the pooping cat next. I've got to put all the legs on and stuff, so yeah, see how far along we get with that one. The lions will probably be the last ones that I'll concentrate on. No, I don't want to co-host. All right. It's actually coming along nicely. Okay. So the stitch I'm using is a ladder stitch, and it sort of helps hide the seam lines a little bit. Instead of like something like a running stitch. The only thing is you have to have a bit of tension on the stitch, which means sometimes it snaps, which is super annoying, but is what it is. Let's find this live's not doing too great, is it? Okay. It's slow today. Still coming. All right. Just sort of tie off this section here. I've got one more leg to do. Check the holes. A little one here. All right, so just do a quick tie off. Yeah, I'm not 100% happy with the neck, so I might just go ahead and do a little section. Cat. Excuse the cat. Excuse the cat profanity. Yeah, cats everywhere here. This is when I finished previously. All right. So that is one leg done. I'm just sort of trying to blend in this little seam line here with the pile, which is like the long part of the fur. So I like to just sort of blend it in after I've sewn it. Just see how it's sitting. All that sort of mumbo jumbo. All right. So I've got one more leg to sew, which is this one, and then I can do the tail piece. So sit it down this way. Sometimes it's awkward getting it into a position where I can see. Okay. Just trim this off a tiny bit. About this much. I don't like to have too much excess fake fur on there because it sort of gets a bit too thick. So I'm going to tie the thread on, tie the thread. Okay, so it seems like it's done. Just get my ran out of space in my card. All right. Bit of an awkward angle, this one, but I like to try and contour to the form that I previously did with the polyfill. So I try and do the stitch work pretty tight and keep it tight. So I do the form out of something called polyfill, and polyfill is like a cushion stuffing, which I use to needle felt like a body form, and then I'll sew the fabric over the top of it. There's a lot of like similar elements with taxidermy. I'll go this way so you can see the face. With taxidermy and this fake taxidermy or art dolls. I think yeah, borrowed a lot of techniques from there and needle felting. But just a little bit different because these are, you know, posable, working from scratch here. It's always tricky to find some fake fur that's, you know, very similar to real faux fur. But yeah, I should look into using taxidermy thread. I'm not sure what they use. rather than just normal thread. Not that it doesn't work, but so let's see if it's working on. I've been doing this for about 13 years now as well. I used to do a lot more fantasy things, but not so much anymore. Every now and again. Every now and again. Thank you for the likes. Oh, secret pin. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask as well. Should be good. Okay. Bit of an awkward pose here, but we get here. Secret pin. We get to these awkward positions. I don't know whether I should put a cat butt on it or not. It's tempting. Tempting. YouTube is definitely quiet today. It's very quiet on the old stream day today. You never know these days. Okay, so let's start tightening. Cool! Yay! Snapped. Alright, let me try. Fix that. We always love it when threads snap. It's really cool. I love going back and doing all the work that I've just done. My fault. Sometimes this just happens. That's why I wanted to sort of try and work out if I can find what thread taxidermists use. but just go back up this way and sort of try and fix it. I have to get a new piece of thread anyway, but I don't know if I should restart this live or not. It's not doing very much. I'm not getting a lot of action going on here. Sometimes it just gets a bit weird and like doesn't feed my live out. So sometimes restarting it sort of helps. Actually, both lives are really awful. Okay. Thank you. So cute. Thank you. Never know how. Like you get one live, you get heaps of people coming in, and then today's live is just really. What kind? Well, I kind of make any animals really. I'm at a sort of stage where I feel confident enough to make anything, apart from people. But yeah, I've done a lot of different things in my time. I have neglected to do a lot of reptiles and sea creatures, so this year I've been doing a little bit different and doing things out of my comfort zone. So yeah, do pretty much anything. Birds are always difficult. Yeah, I got a shop. creaturesandnat.com. Hopefully don't get a restriction for that. But yeah, got a shop. My cat's having like a weird zoomy session at the moment. Crazy. Cuckoo banana. I'll check it out. Yeah, I've done a lot of foxes. Done a lot of done red foxes. I've done fantasy foxes, black ones, white ones. You name it. Looks for the likes. I do want to do like a more realistic one. It's been a while since I've made a realistic foxo, so I reckon I could make a pretty good one. It's been a while. My techniques have changed a lot since the last time I made one, so yeah, it'd be nice. I'd like to do like a nice fluffy one with a really long coat. That coat's going to be a big task to do, I think. I like the white ones though. There's something about the white with the pink nose. It's super cute. This is a massive knot. Sometimes I couldn't even make this knot if I tried. Yeah. I'm going to do this. Where am I based? I'm in Melbourne. Melbs. Okay. That was an awful knot. That's not a knot I could get fixed. Okay, just going to go around this bit here, and then I'm going to do the tail. That's fairly quick to sew, I have to say. This fur is a lot easier to sew than longer furs. With the long furs, you sort of, it's really easy to get tangled in a pile, which is this long bit. It's called a pile. So it's really easy to get tangled, and then it's just a shit fight, to say the least. Sometimes. So the tail's generally the last thing that I sew. I'm going to revisit this little neck piece because I don't like the way that's sitting. So you got to be happy. What kind of materials do I use? So I sculpt the head and feet pieces out of polymer clay. And then I use polyfill to make like a form around the body. It's got an armature inside, so it's fully posable. And then I generally just use fake fur. So mostly fake fur, but if I do something like a lizard, like the chameleon in the background, I do like a cotton that I'll show you the texture of the skin. So all of the little scales I did individually with like a acrylic medium mix, and yeah, hand painted it. So yeah, I try not to use any animal products in anything, especially furs. Nope, out of the question. So it's all fake fur, fakeodermy. And I generally just airbrush the colouring on and stuff. Thank you. That's kind of a finished piece. Got a leopard seal. Don't know if you can see it. Leopard seal here. There's a whole heap of things. Excuse the mess in the background. I've got like a million things going on back there that are on my list of things to do. So yeah. So they've got glass eyes too. So generally make those as well, or you can buy pre-made ones, which I use sometimes too. These ones I made. So this one's like 80% finished. I have to add all the fur. This one's a Zoomies cat, so I've got to trim it, add all the fur, and then do a bit of airbrushing to the face, the legs, and the tail, which is based on a chocolate Burmese. So yours is the same. It's, you know, a million things to do, not enough time. It's organized chaos. Thank you. Thanks for the follow. Thanks. But yeah, I've got a couple of things on the go at the moment. I've got 3 cats. So the Zoomies cat, the yawning cat, obviously this one, the yawning cat, and a pooping cat. So that's like my new action cat sort of series. I've got 2 lions. So I've done most of the big cats. And the lions were sort of like the last ones to do. So I'm doing a male and a female. The female's a bit spicy. Little toe beans. And a Gila monster. So just to keep the reptiles going. So I think I'll be doing, at least 1 reptile with each batch that I do. So yeah, I'm just trying to work out my next batch of dolls. So I had 7 on the go at the moment. The leopard seal was a commission piece, which I just finished. The second leopard seal. The other one turned out really big, but yeah. So yeah, just trying to work out like my next batch of art dolls to do. I had 7 on the go, so I'll probably do like another 6 or something. You're thinking of making an art doll of my OC soon. Any tips? I've got a YouTube which has heaps of videos, like tutorials, and I generally do a video for each doll that I make, so you can see like the whole process. So you probably get some ideas from, those videos. I got tutorials in my shop as well if you need a little bit more, but just give it a crack. It's just, you really learn the most by just doing it. Thanks for the follow. But yeah, when I first started, there was like zero tutorials out there. So everything that I've learned, all my techniques are self-taught, completely self-taught. So a lot of experimenting and experience. So they definitely did not look anything like what they do now. So practice makes perfect. It really does. But yeah, I got heaps of videos and stuff that should help you. All right, so just gonna feel for any loose holes in there, and then I'm gonna start tying it off, getting it nice and secure, tight. Sometimes when you're sewing, the pile sort of gets stuck underneath the stitch, so I generally comb it out before I tie it off and make it really tight. Oh, no problem. Yeah, I've got heaps. Oh, I got heaps up there, so I've got like a little tips videos here and there as well. But yeah, I thought about doing workshops, but 1, I don't have the time, and 2, I'm an introvert. Being center of attention, it's like a worst nightmare. Okay, just tie this securely. Check for holes. I think it's all good. Yep. All right, 1 more. I might overdo the tying off stage, but we don't want those seams to come undone. All right. Hooray. Do you think you could make? Yeah, totally. I made unicorns. Funnily enough, nobody's commissioned a horse, and it's always been low on my to-do list. But yeah, no, definitely. Even like a donkey. You mean like a donkey? Kind of. Male donkey? Donkeys are cute. They got cute face. I think they're cuter than horses. Is that controversial? All right, I'm going to do the tail. So, because this is a Siamese, tail needs to be long and thin. So I have just enough here for the tail. So what we're going to do, I'm going to work on this bit here. Pin. But the horse, someone asked to do a horse recently. I wanted to do like one of those, I never forget the leopard. They're like white with black. I'm not a horse person, so forgive me if I get the details wrong, but it was a leopard something or other. The black and white ones. Appaloosa? Is that? Yeah, that's the one. Yep, that's the one. Leopard Appaloosa. I think they're pretty cool looking horses. Or that, is it a Middle Eastern horse? The Akal, something like that golden one, the golden horse. That's a cool looking horse. Or is it a Turkish horse? I think it's Turkish. I never remember the name. But they're a pretty, this pin's too small, I don't like it. Yeah, it's a good looking horse. That's a stunning horse. Yeah. I can't remember. It's like a Akal something or other. I'm pretty sure it's Turkish. I mean, I might be wrong, but I mean, I can just Google it, right? All right, trim. Okay, so I think that should be good enough. They're long and thin, these tails, so I think that should be enough. Just give myself a bit of grace here. Akal Teki, yeah. Teki, is that the right way to pronounce it? Yeah. I remembered like the Akal bit. Akal. I mean, I'm probably saying it in a really bogan way, but you get it. All right, tuck the ends off here. Now, this is going to be a really awkward angle, but we've got the tail here. My needle. So I think either those two would be like the first horses that I'd make. But yeah, I just was never high on my priority list. I should probably do one because that's what I've been doing this year, just stuff out of my comfort zone, stuff that I haven't done before. I generally try and pick like lesser known animals as well. Yeah, but then I got like stuck on doing all the big cats. Because why not? It's a bit fiddly, this bit. Just trying to hide like the seam line, and it's just like such a tiny little end. We don't want a square tip, we want a proper looking tip. Okay. Alright, so that's sort of the start of the tip. I'm going to try and fold this in a little bit more so it's more of a uniform look. Tails are like the least fun thing to sew. It's really like a tube with a weird end. Okay. See, it's a little bit of a curve now. That's what we want. And then the fabric sort of starts, you know, following in its own natural way it wants to fall. So then I just sort of follow that seam line. Make sure it's nice and tight. Okay. So I probably will add a little bit of polyfill to the base here because it sort of starts to flare out a little bit. So we don't want a flat tail. All right. Let's power sew this. The one thing to sort of be careful about sewing the tails is sometimes it starts to sort of curve on itself. So yeah, generally try to keep it pinned so it stays in place and just follow the natural way it wants to sit. Okay, so just come out the pile. Thank you for the likes. See, we're starting to get a tail. Pin. So I'll start adding just like a tiny bit of polyfill. Just to start bulking it out just a tiny bit. Okay. I think I'm going to run out of thread anyway, so I'll have to start a new piece of thread. It's fine. Generally, I try to do it in one piece, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. Okay. So you can sort of tell when you need to add a bit of polyfill because it starts getting a little flat. So just going to add a little bit. And I always use a wooden tool if I need to, push it in. If you use a metal tool, it has more of a chance of piercing the fabric or even, cutting a thread. So wooden tools are sort of blunt and a bit more fabric friendly. And the stitch I'm using is called a ladder stitch. And basically what the ladder stitch does is you've got your edges of the fabric here, and then when you do a stitch, it sort of curls, it brings it sort of together. So it sits nice and flush. You don't have like two raw edges against each other. So it's just a bit of a nicer stitch and it sort of closes it up. So that's pretty much one of the only stitches that I use. Sometimes I do a running stitch. That's about it. But I'm in no way a good seamstress, a good sewer at all. Sewing is not my favourite thing to do. But yeah, we got to do it to make the art dolls. It's a necessity, unfortunately. I used to do it in a way where I'd use a sewing machine, but I was finding the bodies weren't really refined enough. They were just really stock, basically, just like a stock body that I'd sort of refine in certain areas. But I find this way I can get it to be a bit more realistic. Sort of get the curves a bit better. It's more time consuming, but I think it pays off at the end. Some parts I do still sew. For example, if I'm doing a seal, I generally sew like the flippers up on the sewing machine, and it's a lot stronger, a lot more, precision is a bit better. But yeah, don't do it as much as I used to. I used to like make my own pattern and just go from there. But this way I'm sort of refining the fabric against the form, which is sort of a bit more taxidermy-like rather than, plush, so to speak. All right, I'm just going to tie it off again. And I'll have to do another piece of thread. Just check that's okay. Shove that in there. Good looking. Okay. Hello. How are you? All right, so the last sort of little bit is attaching the tail. So got a new piece of thread, just got to tie it on. No, you can just send like a gift one. No, we good. No, thank you. We good. Oh, thanks. Oh, battery's dead. Just a rose, eh? Okay. Tie. This is like the last bit to do. Other one on YouTube. There was someone else on YouTube that did it. But no. To say the least. It was here on TikTok. No, I can't say that I did, unfortunately. Okay. Not the knot. No problems. Thanks for the rose. How did these knots happen? Honestly, I couldn't even tie this knot if I tried. Okay. Alright, so I just have to do this bit here. Then it's pretty much finished sewing. Weird angle. check for any holes. I think we're good. All right, tie it off. This neck piece. Thank you for the follow. So I'm gonna click if I do. When will I third? Alright, now just trying to figure out this neck piece here because I'm not like 100% happy with it. I think it should be okay if I add a small section. To there. I think it's good. Yeah, by the time I add fur to it, I think it'll be fine. Oops. Thank you for the follow. So okay, well, I'm going to glue. You know you're doing a good job. It's a yawning cat. It's yawning. See? Just going to put this on charge. Oh, thank you. Thanks for the gifts. Alright. So I'm going to glue everything together. The neck, I'm just going to go ahead and glue it. Okay. Now, this is a tacky fabric glue, which I'm just going to carefully put in there. Don't want too much to get out of control. And here. Right. And then do the little legs. I'm not doing too much glue because I don't want it to seep through the fabric. Then it makes it all sort of crispy. That's the thing with fur, it gets in your mouth everywhere. Okay, this will dry overnight, and we're about like 80% done with that one. All right, so there's that little kitty so far. So the yawning kitty. So basically, going to be the yawning stretching pose. I'm not going to move the head because it's sort of drying. I don't want to lift it up and move the seam, but yeah, got like a yawning stretching kitty. And then head up, basically. Cute. Anyway, that's the little yawning kitty. I'm going to leave that to dry. Okay, pooping kitty. Next one. we need to sew on. This is Pooping Kitty, so poopy face. We need to sew on the legs. Right. Now, can go this way. This way. Okay, I'm go this way. So I'm going to pin. All right. Lost my pin. Yes. All right. Thick faux fur. Pineapple. Okay. Finally, got one leg. Okay. One. the excess off. Looks about good. This tiny. What's going on? On there. Okay. I'm not poking today. Stitching. Cutting. Whatever it is. I guess. Psychopathic. Alright, that's that one. Off there. Okay. Can't get away with that. maybe. What's going on here? No, that's not right. The wrong way. Okay, let's move up the table. Not today, surprisingly. Not today. It's actually been really quiet today. Now I'm like out of the vibe. Shit live. Hasn't been feeding my stuff out, so not today anyway. So not feeling it. Right. Yeah, not long. I'll just sort of finish doing this bit here and then that'll do, I guess. This fur is hard to work with. It's thick. Thick and long. Done. Ugh. Oh my god, there's so much. Right. Pin that bit. It's going to be fun to sew this one. What we got here. So it needs to be sewn up, I think. Oh my god, this is a chunky one. Ah, that was a good one. Like that. Okay, so alright, that should be good to sew up. I have to sew this bit. Alright. Well, I guess I'll leave it there. Nothing's going on. I'm not going to start sewing. I've got a couple of minutes left anyway, so I guess I'll leave it there. I'll be back next week. I'll try and get as much sewing as I can done. Maybe a bit of work on the Zoomies cat. So I might have a finished doll next week. Who knows? Anyway, YouTube, catch you later.